All right, it's the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Ariaga.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. Smiley
so
Ariaga,
much-
yeah. That's it.
We got so much to talk about. Let's just jump right in. There's too much to talk about. Okay, AEW Collision announced for June 17th, live, Saturdays, 8 p.m. And this first show is at the United Center, which is interesting. But there's a lot to unpack here. But this will be AEW's third show on national TV, and I guess you can count Ring of Honor as their fourth show, but it's not on national TV, it's on Honor Club. So what do you think about this third show that AEW is adding?
I think they should just replace Rampage. Honestly, I thought that was the point of it. I thought they were going to replace Rampage. That's what I think they should do, because Rampage already kind of feels like Dynamite, B-sides. C-sides sometimes, actually. In Collision, I thought they were doing away with Rampage, but third show? Third one?
No, I don't know if they're going to do away with it, because Rampage is part of their, they have a third hour of television on their contract, so that's what Rampage is. But I think that this is a problem with all, the other big promotion, WWE. They have too much shit. They have too much programming. I mean, I guess that's what it takes these days to be a successful wrestling promotion on national television. You have to have so much content, but to me, it's kind of overkill,
I don't think that content is necessary. I feel like people think it's necessary because they see other people. It works for other people, and they think, "Oh wait, we should do that."
I think they're showing that they have a library of material they can use if they want to pitch a streaming deal for streaming TV, like WWE does with Peacock, because they have a large library, and they have all these shows they can put on here that you can sell. I think AEW has the same thing. Now they have the Ring of Honor library. AEW has a growing library, but at the same time, I think it's too much. I mean, am I gonna watch it? I'll watch it for let's see how it is for a couple of weeks, and then. Just like Rampage. Rampage I watched for a little while because it was actually a solid show. They had stars on there. Now they just have random dudes that honestly no one really cares about that much to want to go out of your way to watch a show Friday night at 10 o'clock.
They definitely don't have... And, you know what it feels like? It's kind of like what the show to me felt like. To sum it up quickly, it's like playing Fortnite, right? There's a lot of content in Fortnite. There's a lot of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff, but at the end of it, you don't feel fulfilled. It's more like just, for at least me, it feels I'm drained. You know what I mean? It's too much, there's a focus on content and not quality.
Yes, that's exactly it. I think, look at WWE, right? Raw now, it's quality-wise, it's the best it's been in quite some time. However, the 3 hours, you feel it. There'll be a good segment, and then, nothing, nonsense
It'll
for
either
an
be
hour.
the beginning or the end of the show, one good segment.
Exactly. And something that teases the end segment, at least there's a direction, but still, I feel burned out. I feel drained.
And sometimes, rarely, you may get, in those 3 hours, one wrestling match. Maybe, sometimes.
But now there's a lot more, but yeah, it used to be that way. Now, with WWE and in AEW now, I pick and choose what I want to watch. I watch SmackDown because it's an easy show to watch. I watch Dynamite because it's an easy show to watch. And important things happen on both shows. Storylines progress on both shows. But Rampage, not so much anymore. It's just matches. Not bad matches, but just matches.
You don't remember them.
That, and then it's not... it's not enough for me to go out of my way to go watch this on a Friday night at 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
especially after I watched SmackDown. I watched 2 hours of SmackDown. You want me to watch a third hour on Friday night?
And it's later than SmackDown, too.
It's
Sometimes I'm burnt out by the end of SmackDown.
Exactly. I think Collision, people are going to pick and choose what they're going to watch. You're going to cut the audience and, you're going to split, maybe not really, maybe you'll have a nice solid audience on Saturday nights at 8 o'clock.
They definitely want to see Punk.
But people, Punk, if Punk is there, most likely he's going to be there, but what's going to happen after a while? What's going to happen in a couple of months, a couple of weeks, months later, what are you going to do? You're going to still have, if you continue to have, if you treat Collision like WWE treats SmackDown now, this could be a success, because SmackDown has stars. They have star power, and storylines progress. It's not just Raw. Raw does the same thing. It's pretty much even, which is great. But AEW needs to follow suit like that. You need to continue to have marquee stuff to make us watch on Saturday nights.
And especially if it's a third show?
It's the third show, yeah. I mean, I think they were smart for getting rid of Dark, because nobody watches any of those. Elevation or anything.
You know what's crazy? Dark and Elevation were the same thing. They didn't even name it differently. It was Dark and Dark Elevation.
Yeah.
It was the same thing.
Elevation was easier to watch in the sense that, let's say if you're at Dynamite, it's a nice, quick, it's a fine hour of warm-up wrestling matches before Dynamite starts, which is fine. But I'm not going out of my way to watch the YouTube anything. I'm just not. But I think AEW has a good opportunity to have a second show, because this is a second successful 2-hour show, which is fine. But you don't want it to be like Rampage, because Rampage for a while was doing really good, and then it just kind of cratered. Even when Punk was there. When Punk was there, the show, the ratings of the show were falling. Not because it's CM Punk. I'm just saying, like, people lost.
You couldn't save that.
No, exactly. Like,
it would be like maybe the only interesting thing.
You could have The Rock there every week. Like, it's not going to save the show. Like, because it wasn't enough for me to tune in on a Friday night at 10 o'clock. But now it's like, going in, when Collision starts in June, there's going to be a lot that's not going to be on AEW's side, because as the summer progresses and we go into the fall, we're going to have baseball playoffs. We're going to have football. There's UFC on Saturday nights. WWE has pay-per-views on Saturday nights now. So you have to do a ton to get people to watch this show continuously. You can't just treat it like Rampage and have a bunch of matches. Like, there's got to be some importance. There's got to be a reason for us to watch the show.
It's like it is like kind of like that WWE trend where it's like you have these different, quote-unquote, different shows that all look the same, but the only thing that separates them is a graphic.
Well, that's a good point, too. There's got to be... If the show has a different feel, then there's a reason to watch Collision.
Like, geez, even Velocity and Heat look different.
Yeah.
Like, Velocity was green SmackDown, Heat was orange Raw. They keep trying to market these shows as different from each other, but only verbally. When we see it like, Rampage is literally Dynamite, but with a different graphic. Sometimes I can't even tell the difference.
I would love for every concert to cost $19.99. And start at like 7 o'clock on Saturdays or Fridays and be over by 9 o'clock. But, in reality, that's not the case. And with national television wrestling, they have so much stuff. So the way I look at it, I'm like, okay, you have all this stuff. As a fan, I'm going to pick and choose what I'm going to see. And I guess the networks for WWE and AEW, they just love them so much. They have more programming. But I don't know. But, I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, but I think AEW needs to work hard to make me care about the show week to week on a Saturday night.
Because, Jesus, I don't want to be mean, but, a lot of the times their storylines on TV, don't even line up sometimes. And, so you want to have a third show, and you think that's going to help?
Well, and Tony Khan is taking on a lot alone. I'm not sure what... if anybody else is gonna help him out or whatever, but I don't know.
I don't know what's going on over there.
We'll see what happens.
I lost my thought. What you were saying?
Anyway, okay, CM Punk. So, they announced the United Center for the first show, June 17th, and most likely CM Punk will be there. So, what do you think CM Punk's first program is going to be?
Probably MJF. I wouldn't mind a rematch with Kingston, Danielson. Oh yeah, actually, or Kenny Omega.
Yep.
That's probably or Adam Cole.
His first one.
Kenny Omega, probably Kenny Omega. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's between Omega and MJF, because I would love to see after fucking last night, that Fatal 4-Way bullshit. I would love to see a actual one-on-one world title feud again. So, but I guess I'll go with MJF.
Yeah, his first program to me, I would do Kenny Omega, and then he beats Kenny Omega. then he faces MJF. If
Oh,
MJF
yeah,
is still the champion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's say if Kenny Omega becomes the champion.
If Orange Cassidy is the champion at the time.
Or whoever becomes champion. You can wrestle Kenny Omega and then he beats him and then boom, title. But you can do the title for... I don't care either way, but...
Now, you
yeah,
did
that'd be
something
good.
for the world title after last night, at least to me.
Yeah. But, if CM Punk... Whoever he's going to wrestle is going to be big. It should be. Then there's Wembley. So... I think Wembley, CM Punk, Kenny Omega would be huge.
That would... that's like an instant main event to me.
Yeah. So, either Punk or... No, the Punk. Either MJF or Kenny. But I would say Kenny first, then go to MJF. But if you're building up a match for Wembley Stadium, maybe Kenny. That's the bigger match, in my opinion. Okay, let's move on to Night of Champions from Saudi Arabia, WWE, and... Did you see any of it?
No, okay. I out of principle, I just avoid the Saudi shows.
Yeah.
Although I heard this one was actually, good.
It was excellent. I watched it. I didn't see every match. I just watched the things that I wanted to see. And I'll start with AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, World Heavyweight title. This was unbelievable. This was a masterclass in pro wrestling. I think that any young wrestler that was in WWE that was there, I would have just watched that whole thing. They did a ton of great drama and selling and all that stuff. That was like a theme of a lot of the top matches on the show. A lot of great storylines and a lot of great story-driven and drama, and they gave you a reason to see what's going to happen on Raw and or SmackDown. And yes, another title, and WWE does not need any more titles, at all. They don't.
It's not like this match was bigger than the title. It was AJ's first match back.
I mean, it felt like a big deal because there was something on the line. That was our biggest issue with WWE the last year, as it was improving. It was improving over the last year. But the thing is, some of the pay-per-views, there was nothing to fight over. There was just a bunch of personal squabbles. This was actually for something. And Seth Rollins winning was a good choice. Even though it was kind of weird because he did some interviews in the weeks leading up to this, and... he's been calling out Roman Reigns. So you have a tournament for one belt, and then you want to wrestle the guy who has the other belt. It's like... So
Roman wins this third one, and then 6 months later, when everyone gets bored again,
they're
going to be a fourth belt.
Then they'll bring back the big gold belt.
They'll bring back the spinner belt.
Yeah. But this is really good. There was one... So Seth does a dive out, and he hits AJ, but he lands kind of weird. Right, so he was selling his knee, and then what the announcers, I don't think they talked about this, but one thing I realized, oh wait, Seth has a history of knee problems, right? But the announcers did a great job of playing up that he hurt his knee. But then what AJ was doing, because he's AJ Styles, he kept going for the calf crusher. He kept going for it.
Are you saying that they actually used a suicide dive in the psychology of a match?
They told a story using a dive.
Whoa!
Right? So the thing that Seth Rollins gets critiqued over a lot, he used it and used it to tell a story.
Wow, people do grow in wrestling.
It was outstanding. Outstanding. I loved it. Really good. Go out of your way to watch that match. Anyway, moving on to Asuka and Bianca, Raw Women's title. Very clever finish. Asuka spit mist into her hand because they were telling the story over the past couple of weeks. Asuka kept spitting mist in Bianca's face, and it kind of blinded her and everything like that. So instead of spitting it in her face, because she was like, okay, I'm going to, because Bianca expects Asuka to use the mist. That was kind of like the story they were telling. And Asuka spit the mist on her hand, and then when Bianca picked her up for the KOD, she took the mist on her fingers and rubbed it in Bianca's eyes.
Oh.
Yeah, and then she kicked her in the face, and Asuka won. She's a Raw Women's Champion now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the crowd was, they were, they were behind Asuka a little bit.
They had more than one women's match at Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, multiple matches, yeah. But this is the one I really wanted to see. Asuka and Bianca and Trish and Becky. Okay, so Cody and Brock. Excellent. So good. And I honestly think that Brock really has a lot of praise and respect for Cody, because even though Brock won this one, Cody looked great. He made Cody look so good. It was awesome. Again, more storytelling. That's the theme of the show.
Apparently, it was not when Brock wrestled Ricochet in Saudi Arabia.
Hell no. The opposite of that. Oh my god, they told us. So, I don't know if you've been seeing Raw the past couple of weeks.
Only the Lesnar and Cody stuff.
Okay, right. So
only the Lesnar and Cody stuff.
On Raw, Cody arrives at Raw. You see him with a suitcase and a suit on, and Lesnar beats the piss out of him. He fucks up his arm, and then throughout the night, they kept brawling, and Brock kept, working over his arm, putting him in the Kimura, turning it.
This sounds like a lot of professional wrestling.
It was on
a wrestling show.
And it's simple.
They're working the arm?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was simple.
Not just flipping over each other's heads?
No, it was really, really good. This was a really good storytelling and drama, masterclass. It was unbelievable.
The one time a Saudi show was amazing.
And Cody he came to the ring with the cast, and Brock kept working over the cast, and the finish was he put him in a Kimura with the injured arm, and Cody passes out.
Oh,
doesn't tap. Passes out. And I thought it was great. And the announcers played it up. It was like, Cody did not tap. Cody didn't tap.
So they're probably going to lead up to a third match.
He's like, he doesn't stop. That's the story. Cody doesn't give up. He keeps going.
And Brock's going to kill him.
And Brock's going to kill him. So this third match has to be a stipulation, though. So now...
What the hell's going to do
each other? They should freaking kill each other.
No, tonight on Raw, Brock's going to shoot him.
Oh, yeah. He's trying to get his gun or something.
Ball's going to have to be like, stop, Brock, please.
They should do a Hell in a Cell, if you ask me.
Oh, my God, that would be great.
Hell in a Cell, Last Man Standing or something.
That would be... The last Cody Hell in the Cell was astounding, so that would be great.
Yeah, they talked about that, too. They played that up, too. Because remember when Cody showed up, he was fucked up. Legitimately. And it played into the story. The drama of the Seth Rollins match, but this one was he came in hurt. And then they played it up. It was great. And the main event was Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the Universal.
The only clip I saw of this was Sami talking in Arabic.
Yeah, it was really
live.
good.
And wow, I'll be honest. I've never thought I'd ever see not only Sami Zayn going there, because I thought he didn't want to go there, and seeing the reception. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, he had a great reaction. It was phenomenal, and this tag team title match was again just more storytelling, just more and more storytelling.
I think it's kind of cool how they went from having years ago having Jinder do minstrel shit to stuff like this.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of cool.
It was really good. So the big thing that happened in this match was the Usos just kind of Jimmy especially lost he just couldn't take Roman Reigns' attitude towards him and his brother anymore. So what happened is the Usos interfered, and there was a ref bump. Usos interfered. And the Usos totally, dismantled KO, and they put the announce table over him, and then the Usos inadvertently kicked Solo Sikoa in the face. Roman, who was outside selling for a while, he sees this. As he's getting up, he sees this, and he's pissed off. And then Jimmy just loses it.
And I saw the clip where he super kicked his facial hair off of his face.
He kicked the shit out of him. He kicked and it was a long time coming, because Jimmy, for a while, the last 3 years, he didn't like how he was talking to Jimmy. He didn't like
how he was talking to Jay.
Yeah.
How he was treating Jay.
Yeah, Jay, yeah. And then he just couldn't take it anymore. So this was a build up to that. So more dissension between the bloodline, which is awesome. I can't wait to see where this goes. And this was one of the WWE has been on fire. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, 2023 is a great year for WWE so far, pay-per-view wise and TV wise too. But
I hated the WrestleMania ending, but the WrestleMania was pretty good both nights. And,
yeah,
Backlash was one of the best. That's the thing. I thought I was only. I think I talked about when we watched Backlash. I thought I was going to skip most of the show. I ended up watching everything but 1 or 2 matches.
Yeah, it was so.
Backlash was great.
Royal Rumble was great. Elimination Chamber was great. WrestleMania was great. Backlash was good. Great.
The chamber matches? I don't remember the chamber matches, but the Sami and Roman match was astounding.
Outstanding. Yeah, and this show, the Saudi shows, which I don't care about, this show was awesome. It really was. Top to bottom.
And it's never a question of whether it's going to be a bad show. It's just you know why I avoid them.
Yeah, and most of those were matches I didn't care about, but this match had matches I cared about.
Yeah.
And they over-delivered.
Do I wish AJ... I hope AJ and Seth wrestle again because I just would love. I'm glad AJ's back. I'm just happy AJ's back.
Okay, more AEW. So last night, as we were recording this, was Double or Nothing. And this show overall was no good. I didn't like it at all. Not at all, but
I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all.
Most of this show was a dud. No, not a dud. It was disappointing.
I laughed a lot watching this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, thinking about it, because, like, even when AEW's TV is not so great, the pay-per-views never disappoint me, because the pay-per-views don't have... Usually, it's no dumb segments. It's usually, like, good match after good match, or, like, good storytelling a lot of the times, and, like, usually has a bonkers main event. Like, it would make up for a lot of bad TV they do sometimes. But this is, like... Because I was like, especially with the World Title feud, I was not liking the TV for the World Title feud at all. And I'm thinking, okay, look, the pay-per-view, they'll probably pull a rabbit out of a hat. It'll be a good pay-per-view. Dude, there was... Like I said before, I saw a lot of shit happen last night.
God,
I didn't care about any of it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, before we dive into it, like... Okay. Yes, a good chunk of these matches, I didn't give two shits about going in. And I, just like you, I'm like, okay, maybe they'll put a rabbit out of a hat. Maybe they'll, they'll surprise me. And, man, a lot of the show, like, okay... Let me, okay.
What are we
Maybe
begin?
Tony Khan, yeah, like, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here. I'm like, okay, maybe with starting Collision and negotiations with CM Punk and Wembley Stadium and all this other stuff, the video game that's coming out, maybe a lot of this, maybe how Double or Nothing was put together just kind of slipped through the cracks with him. But I say all that to say, that's no excuse. This show was a mess. It felt like a super long Dynamite. And there's been Dynamites...
Dynamite.
Yeah. There's been Dynamites that have been way better than this. Like the one at the LA, at the Kia Forum this past year was excellent. There's been great Dynamites. The past couple of weeks have been better than
Grand
this show.
Slam was felt like a better pay-per-view
like
than this.
This was just like $49.99, bro. Like this was a... Oh my god. Okay, let's just get into it. Okay. The Battle Royal, right? That kicked off the show. With Orange Cassidy defending the international title. Here's the thing. This, honestly, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But especially in AEW, the Battle Royals are predictable. Like, nothing happens in the beginning, and things don't start happening until the last 4 minutes. The last, last few people in it. All that to say, it was fine. It was fine. There was nothing. But I think that every week that Orange Cassidy was wrestling, defending this title pretty much every week. What they could have done was he wrestled someone every week, and then 2 weeks before Double or Nothing, some formidable challenger challenges him at the pay-per-view.
Who's more from?
You could have. Shane Strickland was his main opposition here. You could have done that.
They're making Orange Cassidy look invincible.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they could have had, they could have built to a big pay-per-view match between him and, I guess you could do at, Forbidden Doors coming up. You can do him and Zack Sabre Jr. or something like that. Some international star. But they could have done something here with something instead of a stupid battle royale. So you're telling me you've been building up Orange Cassidy week in, week out just to put him in a stupid battle royale? That's ridiculous. That does not help Orange Cassidy. That did him a disservice. It wasn't bad, but it's just like...
Orange Cassidy's going to be fine.
Well, he's going to be fine. I'm just saying, they could have done so much better to make this interesting. Instead of just a stupid battle. Oh,
because here's the thing, right? I say he's going to be fine because, no matter what, he's going to get more opportunities. People like him, Tony likes him. But I'm going to keep asking this question this whole show. Where the hell was Eddie Kingston? I saw every numbskull on this roster except for the guy who's one of the best.
Honestly, I'm glad he wasn't on the show. He
could have helped some.
How would he have fit in on the show? You've been in the Battle Royal, maybe in the Anarchy Arena.
There goes another problem. What the hell have they been doing with guys like
this? This show was just a mess. Okay, and then the match after this, I liked actually. was probably one of the best matches on the show was the unsanctioned match between Jericho.
Oh yeah, and Adam Cole.
And Adam Cole. This was great. It was simple. They beat the piss out of each other, and it was great. Like Adam Cole got his revenge, and I thought the finish was creative, and it was entertaining. I thought it was great, and it was great to see Sabu and.
Oh yeah, Sabu.
Yeah, he just the ref stoppage finish was great.
No. I was terrified. No, there was a spot where Sabu climbed up the top rope and
he jumped into the table.
I was terrified because it looked like he fell. I don't know, look like he slipped off. I was horrible. And that says something because we've watched Sabu do a lot of crazy shit. Yeah. I've never been terrified.
Yeah.
Watching it
But all in all, I thought Jericho and Adam Cole, they did great. They were fine. It was great. It was one of the best things on the show by far. And then what happened after that? What are your thoughts on the last two? Do you have anything to say about the Battle Royal or this unsanctioned match?
I know a lot of people like Orange Cassidy, and I know they were building him. I didn't feel it. I don't feel it with him. I forget. By the end of that Battle Royal, I forget. Well, wait, they handed him a belt. I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh, and then I remember. Oh, wait, they made him the Atlantic champion. I didn't really care. The Adam Cole. I'm happy Adam Cole move. I'm hoping Adam Cole after this will move on to something else. Even though, I don't know, maybe MJF or something like that. Maybe if Punk wrestles Omega at Wembley, maybe Adam Cole can wrestle MJF at Wembley.
Sure.
I'm hoping he'll move on to something else after this. Even though this wasn't bad.
Yeah.
This feud wasn't bad. It was probably, honestly, in hindsight, one of the better things on the show.
Yeah.
I remember only remembering this most fondly, honestly.
What did you think about the tag team title match? FTR versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett.
Well, I love FTR, but they didn't deserve that. It's like Jeff Jarrett. I don't know. And Jeff Jarrett isn't bad. Jay Lethal, I just don't care for all the shtick that his group does. I thought FTR deserved to be in a better spot. I always say that about them because they always seem to be in a dumbass spot sometimes when they're not wrestling. When they weren't wrestling the Briscoes, I don't know. It's just they're not they're not being utilized well to me.
Yeah, and the crowd didn't care either. The crowd didn't give a shit about this match. I certainly did not give a fuck about this match.
If the crowd doesn't care about an FTR match, that's a problem.
You know what this match should have been? FTR just beats them both down quickly.
Wipes the floor with them.
In 5 minutes.
Why did it need to take these... these guys went to war with the Briscoes twice. Why the hell did it need to take this long for them to beat... Jeff Jarrett and who? Who? Jay Lethal. Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't care about this match. There's nothing to say about this. Speaking of nothing to say, this women's title match between Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm.
If Jamie Hayter... Okay, so pretty much what happened is that, they did this thing at this WWE shit where, on a pay-per-view, they did, where Toni Storm was waiting for Jamie Hayter to come out. They played Jamie Hayter's music, and, Jamie Hayter doesn't come out. And at that moment, I knew, okay, she's being attacked in the back, right? And then she literally, Paige and... Ruby Riot were beating up Jamie Hayter on the way to the ring. I'm like, you're doing this on a pay-per-view? But then I realized, we realized that Jamie Hayter might have been injured, and I guess they just called it there.
Who knows?
Because if Jamie Hayter wasn't injured, this was just bad booking.
This was just... I didn't care about this match going in, and I certainly didn't care about it as it was happening.
Well, they haven't been propping up the women's title.
It was just
on TV.
Nothing, and I didn't care. So we're just gonna move on.
I hope Jamie Hayter's okay.
Yeah,
Jamie Hayter's amazing. She deserves better than this.
And then there was the TBS. There was the TBS title.
The other women's title.
Yeah, there was Jade Cargill versus Ty Valkyrie. Another match.
Did something happen between? Because I know I fell asleep. Did something happen between that women's match and the TBS title match?
It doesn't matter. So I don't remember. But anyway, this match. This match was putrid. It was putrid. It was horrible.
Ty Valkyrie's great. Ty Valkyrie's great, and Jade Cargill isn't as horrible.
She's not ready.
Well, Jade Cargill isn't as horrible as she used to be, but she still isn't good.
No, 60-some matches. It's time to hit the road.
They did a big deal out of that.
Yeah, it's time to work independence. You have a great look. You have great charisma, but every big match you're in is the dripping shits. It's the dripping shits. It's diarrhea out there. And it's nauseating because we're paying money for this shit. Like, this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, that Wings Over Valley stream was way more worth than his pay-per-view last night.
Yes, it was. Jesus
crap.
Christ. Nothing looked good. Remember that springboard spot? Jade Cargill.
Yeah, she did it. She did a spring... What? Yo, listen. This goes out to Wardlow and that genius.
We gotta talk about that.
Oh yeah. This
okay.
goes out to Wardlow and that genius Brian Cage. Why are all the big people wanting to do Young Buck stuff?
I don't care if they do that. Make it look good.
Well, do it well.
Yeah, just make it look good. We're doing a springboard and then Ty Valkyrie trying to drop kick her. It looked dumb.
That's what she was trying to do, a drop kick?
Yeah.
It just looked like they collided.
Yeah. I was like, this is professional wrestling? No, come on.
And the Ty Valkyrie's good. Like, and the Wardlow thing, the ladder, that bullshit. I love... Yo, there were so many people I loved last night that, like, deserved better. Like, Christian Cage is another...
All right, we'll get to that. Like, you're going all over the place. But...
Wasn't that before this?
Yes. Yeah, I'm talking about the TBS title now. So, yeah, there was nothing. Jade Cargill wins. But then, what saved this whole thing was Chris Statlander returning. And guess what? The crowd was into it. Because a lot of this stuff on the show, the crowd was not into. At all. Some stuff, the stuff with the stars in it, people liked. But outside of that, they didn't give a fuck. But they cared about Chris Statlander, which is a great thing.
They cared about something.
Yeah, and then they had Chris Statlander beat Jade Cargill's ass and just take this thing from her because it was time to put this thing to bed because they should have stopped this at 50 or 40
Yeah,
or something.
the match was so bad that they had to just give it to somebody else.
And they didn't build up anybody else to make us think that, they can beat her. But the fact that they did this quick and decisively and they struck while...
It seemed like damage control.
Yeah. It was like, okay, this is not working. Chris Statlander go out there. And they liked it. And she's a TBS champion. Great. Let's see what happens. Maybe there'll be a rematch. But, just Jade Cargill. I believe in her. I really do believe in her. But, oh my God. Oh my God. You should not be on national television right now. You have what some people don't have. You have the charisma. You have a great look. But when the bell rings, it's embarrassing. It's truly embarrassing.
Watch Wire matches are 5 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about... You have anything else to say about TBS title match?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
So, this TNT title match, this ladder match, was also embarrassing. Was it entertaining to watch from a car crash point of view? Yeah. What'd you think?
Christian Cage
Yeah.
couldn't save this. It was... Okay, there was this...
The ladder match expert
Yeah.
couldn't save this.
Yeah. Well, not his fault. It's not his fault.
No, it's not.
Wardlow, okay, this spot happened. I don't know how... I think at some point, this idiot jumped... I think he went on the ropes. he did a spring... Christian Cage's on the ladder. This dumbass, Wardlow, he did a springboard and tried to be Shelton Benjamin, basically. He tried to jump on the ladder from the rope. And he landed on the bottom of the ladder, broke the ladder, right? And it was a train wreck. He definitely injured himself. Right? But while he's limping, and I can tell he was actually hurt because, no one was fucking selling on the show. I can tell he was hurt because he was limping badly, and while he's limping, this dumbass tries to climb the broken ladder. He tried to climb the broken, bent ladder, and then they had to stop him. No, dude, climb the other one. It was an expose. He was exposed.
Yeah.
Because, our friend Elton was saying, oh, man, Wardlow sucks. I'm oh, he's not that bad. And then after seeing this, God, holy crap, damn, on pay-per-view.
Okay, here's one spot that was okay, so him and Luchasaurus started getting into it, right? He sets Luchasaurus up, does a swanton off the ladder, but Christian's nowhere to be found. So what you did, you just incapacitated yourself, and you gave Christian a chance to climb the ladder.
Yeah, Christian could have been climbing the ladder, dude. He did the whole Jeff Hardy thing where he climbed the tall ladder outside of the ring.
Yeah.
Where the title wasn't.
Did it look good? Did it look good? Yeah. But it was ineffective. It was counterproductive in this match. From a storytelling perspective, this match was putrid. And all the stuff they tried to do, I didn't like it at all. And I can understand if, like, Wardlow had, like, a buddy with him that, like, also incapacitated Christian, and he put Christian on the table, and then Wardlow jumped on both of them.
On Christian, the guy he's fighting.
Yeah, that would make sense. But this didn't make sense. Don't save your money, people. This was what a mess of a show. And, okay, let's talk about this world title match. Oh, God.
Listen, I said before, I've been hating the TV. Like, okay, I remember the night after, the Dynamite after MJF faced Bryan Danielson in an incredible match. Jungle Boy confronts MJF, and I got excited. I'm like, okay, now they're doing a one-on-one between, like a rematch between MJF. Because, like, you remember that amazing Double or Nothing match that him and Jungle Boy had?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, this is going to be great. They're building to a rematch at Double or Nothing for the title, because we knew that was going to happen one day after seeing that match. Like, one of these days, these guys are going to do this again for the title. And I was so excited, but then Sammy came out. And then Darby came out. And then they all started to, like, and I knew where it was going. It was going to be a fatal four-way. And this match was everything that I dreaded it to be. It was a bunch of stuff. MJF looked like the only star. It was a bunch of stuff that happened, and none of it mattered. He won in a headlock takeover, right? Because I think the first match they had was won in a headlock takeover.
Yeah.
Nice. That was compelling. That was very compelling.
You see, the thing about this match, athletically, it was fine. If it wasn't for the world title, great. It was just on a Dynamite, or even on a pay-per-view. But here's the thing. So, MJF and Jungle Boy was good the first time it happened. Guess what? Not for the belt. Sammy Guevara and MJF was excellent. On a Dynamite, not for the belt. Darby Allin and MJF, great at Full Gear. I was there. Great storytelling. The headlock takeover stuff was great because Darby Allin does crazy wild stunts, and then MJF's like, I could beat you with a headlock takeover, and he did. But he cheated, but he did. Not for the world title. This is for the world title. This was when AEW started, MJF was not the star that he is today. The thing is, his promos got better. He got in better shape. His matches got better. He became an all-around. He became an all-around package. That's like superstar quality, and he's just getting started. He's on a fast track of becoming a huge deal in pro wrestling. He's one of AEW's biggest stars right now. However, I cannot say the same thing about Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, and who's the other one? Sammy Guevara,
right? Yeah.
Granted, their profile's been raised a little bit since AEW started. Not even close to the level of MJF. The fact that this match was billed as the 4 pillars, no. You have a number 1, then you have distant 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Like, this is like the New York Yankees and like a minor league baseball team.
You know what didn't help any of these guys? It was based off of the same bullshit we hear in WWE. It was, MJF, we're here every week and you aren't.
Yeah, guess why? He's a star. He's an attraction. You don't want to overexpose your attractions. You don't want to do that. You don't, unless you like Lesnar. He's on Raw a lot. He's on TV a lot because he's in this program with Cody. But after this program, we shouldn't see Brock for a while because he has an aura. When he shows up, it has to be important. We don't need to. Wrestling doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Okay? If you're lucky to have a star, we shouldn't see them all the time. We should only see them when they have something important to say and somebody important to wrestle. Some of these wrestlers today, they need to find new ways of cutting promos. They can't be going back to the.
Or you know, would be a good idea
Yeah.
if they maybe learn how to cut a promo.
Yeah,
that'd also be a good idea too.
That's another thing. MJF's promos, they were always pretty good, but they got better. And, the other 3 guys, not that much better.
These idiots were just arguing about, I'm a loser. Well, you know what? I'm less of a loser than you.
You know what? None of those three guys, aside from MJF, should be anywhere near a world title picture.
No.
None of them.
Hell no.
Look, maybe in a couple of years.
You had something with Jungle Boy because you could have had, because they actually impressed people with their first match of Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
You could have built off of that. But no, you just shoehorn all of them. The 4 pillars might balls.
Guess what? When you're not a star, you're not a star. Right now. That could change in a couple of years. It could change. But as of right now, those guys are not even close to what MJF is right now. They should be nowhere near the world title picture. One of them should have been wrestling Orange Cassidy for the international title.
Britt Baker's a star.
Honestly.
Is a bigger star than
honestly.
three of those guys.
Honestly.
Seriously.
Yeah.
She's a bigger star. Like God in heaven.
Anything else on
Britt
this
Baker
match?
didn't even have a match last night, did she?
No, she didn't.
What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing with that division?
I have no idea what's going on. But this match was ineffective. It was fine, but it's like it didn't feel like a big deal at all. Which is why it wasn't the main event. That's why it wasn't the main event.
But here's the thing, it's like I feel like all of these matches where everything I hate about wrestling is all these multi-person matches where nothing matters. I don't know. Sometimes when it's done well, like a 3-way dance, or if
there's one or two.
Yes.
One or two. That's fine.
Here's the thing, the Anarchy in the Arena main event, right?
Yeah.
The thing about the Anarchy Arena is there are no rules. But none of these matches had rules. So it didn't feel that special. At least to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm just nitpicking. But
I thought that match was highly entertaining, and it was exactly what it was supposed to be. And, it was great. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of hoopla, a lot of craziness, a lot of chaos. If that's the kind of match you want to see, this is the match for you. Things got out of hand in a good way. In a good way. And the way they've been building this on TV, it's like, this is how this was supposed to go. I enjoyed it. They're continuing the Don Callis thing with, bringing in Takeshita and turning on Kenny Omega. Because for weeks and months, they were kind of building that Don Callis wanted to recruit Takeshita, but at the same time, Kenny was focusing on, reuniting the Elite and rehabbing his relationship with Hangman and the Bucks and all that kind of stuff. And I guess... I
thought they were pretty tight.
Huh?
I thought they were pretty tight.
I'm talking on screen.
Oh yeah.
In storyline. That was cool. That was cool. A good piece of storytelling here.
There's so many people I like, but there was just so much shit. Just so much crap.
I thought they did a good job of... Sometimes, when matches like this happen, both in AEW, WWE, and elsewhere, it's kind of hard to keep up with all the action. But
It was very overstimulating.
But last year's was like that. Last year was a little bit too much. But this one, they did a great job of controlling the chaos. But it was cool. It was a big street fight. It was a great way to end the show that wasn't that great.
How did it end again? How did it end?
Takeshita.
Oh yeah,
he showed up. That's cool. Good for him. Good for Takeshita. I'm glad.
And the BCC one. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of Takeshita and Don Callis.
So is he in the BCC now?
Takeshita?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is Don Callis in the BCC?
I don't know yet. We'll have to see.
I didn't know who was with who half the time.
Yeah.
Wait, it's like I hate to jump around again. Remember in the ladder match with fucking Arn Anderson? We didn't know who he was aligned with.
Well, he was from TV. He's been with Wardlow.
Wardlow. Oh yeah, I was just confused. I was confused this whole time.
Yeah, I don't know why he showed up. Why? How are you gonna help him win the ladder?
He didn't bring his Glock either.
Yeah, he didn't bring. He should have brought his Glock.
I was confused.
If Arn Anderson brought his gun out, that would have been way more interesting. But anyway, all right. The Double or Nothing wasn't good. Save your money. Night of Champions was good, and it was free. So if you have Peacock already, definitely watch that.
If you can suspend your morals for 2 hours, you'll definitely enjoy Saudi Arabia a lot more than Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I'm excited for Collision. Because CM Punk might be there, so that's cool.
I'm excited for CM Punk.
I'm going to give the show the benefit of the doubt, even though there's too much shows. Between WWE and AEW, there's too much shit. But I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. All right. This is the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Arriaga.
And you can follow us on the socials, Facebook.com/The Wrestling Caucus, Twitter @Wrestling Caucus, Instagram @The Wrestling Caucus. All right. Later days.